we need to discuss Prince Harry's latest interview. He sat down with the BBC. He lost a major court case in the UK. Long story short, he's like, hey, UK taxpayers, pay for my security and my wife's security and my kids' security any and every time we come to the UK. And the court said, sorry, sir, you closed that door a long time ago. You're no longer a working royal. Leave us out of this, please. And so an aggrieved Harry, and really, is there any other kind of Harry, said to the BBC, why don't you come on over and I'll give you a 10-minute sit down. He gave them a 30-minute sit down. I mean, 45 is approaching like a psychotherapy treatment, which I kind of think the mainstream media is now providing for Harry. He's just sort of venting. So this interview, which I also columned on for the Daily Mail yesterday, this thing is a doozy, okay? This is Princess Diana sitting down with Panorama saying that Charles is not up for the top job. Doozy of an interview. So we're going to take it apart piece by piece. Now, Harry may be the spare, as he titled his memoir. He may now be fifth, I believe, in line for the British throne, so it's never going to happen. He may be no longer on speaking terms with his family of origin, their choice, not his. But he wants us to know, and I shit you not, that irrelevant to the royals though he may be, when it comes to whose life is more in danger, who is number one on the threat list, who people want allegedly to see grave harm come to, if not outright death, it's Harry. Harry's number one. He's number one, and he's kind of reveling in it. So let's look at this.
Last RnB assessment that I was given, I scored the highest. The only person within the family that scored anywhere near that was my grandmother.
Okay, so aside from the late Queen Elizabeth II, may she rest, Harry's number one. So he's good at something, okay? He can do something. He may be getting kicked off of charities, at least one that we know of, but he's not a failure. He's not a fuck up. Okay, so then he says, security, the British royal family has been using free, again, this is free. He's out there he's out there panhandling. I thought he was worth like $40 million, right? Security is being used by allegedly the British royal family as leverage, and you'll never guess to what end, like what it is the British royal family wants out of him and Meghan. Take a look.
You've spoken very openly about the fact that you think you've been punished for leaving the monarchy. Who specifically do you think is trying to punish you?
I don't think that anymore. Now I know that it was, security was used as leverage. And I think what really worries me more than anything else about today's decision, depending on what happens next, is that it's set a new precedent that security can be used to control members of the family. And effectively what it does is imprison other members of the family from being able to, choose a different life. If for me, security is conditional on having an official role, one that both myself and my wife wished to carry on, but then was rejected, not by Ravek, was rejected by the royal household. And the result to that is you lose your security. That basically says that you can't live outside of their control.
Okay, so I'm a little confused as to what exactly his point is here. When King Charles was then Prince Charles, and those two flounced out of the British royal family, and they basically said, do it our way. This is what we want to do. And the Queen, in her infinite wisdom, said, sorry, doesn't work that way. Can't be half in, half out. Can't be merching Sussex crap all over the World Wide Web, and also be working for the British populace, for the citizenry, and for the reputation of the nation. Doesn't work that way. So Harry neglects to mention that his father paid for his and Meghan's security for the first year they went to America. He paid for it. Now, you would think that Charles was just the worst father in the world. But so we're gonna omit that inconvenient truth. And then we're going to imply that the royal family needs to basically hold itself hostage with security so that if you wanted to leave, you will never get security should you leave, even though all Harry needs to do, truly, I don't know if this interviewer was falling asleep as he's speaking to her, because I know this. So this interviewer for the BBC should know this. All these two need to do is send a message within a certain amount of time in advance to say, hey, we're going to be in the UK on date certain. Please provide security. Done, dusted, not a problem. But if we're not raging in the public square, what is the point of our existence? Now, in this next clip, Harry, and we're inching up to some truly disgusting stuff. As we know, the king is battling cancer. Catherine, Princess of Wales, is in remission from cancer. And Harry has sort of a new outlook on life, I believe. Take a look.
Speaking of your family, your father is ill with cancer. Will you continue to visit him alone without the family? Where does this leave things moving forward, the ability of your children to see their grandfather?
You know, life is a precious thing, and I'm acutely aware of the fragility of that. I can only come to the UK safely if I'm invited.
Okay, but he's been going anyway. Like, he hasn't been, as far as I know, he's getting no invitations extended. You know, he's booking all these court dates and suing the pants off of everybody. But he goes to the UK. Okay, now let's go to this, in which he implies heavily that the British royal family had something to do with his mother, Princess Diana's untimely death, and that he lives in fear of such a thing happening again to, well, you can guess. Take a look.
I don't want history to repeat itself. I think there's a lot of other people out there, the majority, that also don't want history to repeat itself. Through the disclosure process, I've discovered that some people want history to repeat itself, which is pretty dark.
That's quite a statement. Who do you think that is?
I'm not going to share it at this point.
He's a big tease, just like his wife. Okay, and then so the final thought of Harry is him talking about wanting to reconcile with the family that he thinks probably killed Diana, would like to see grave harm come to him and his wife, but he would love to get back in. Take a look.
I would love reconciliation with my family. There's no point in continuing to fight anymore. As I said, life is precious. I don't know how much longer my father has. He won't speak to me because of this security stuff.
Harry, let me try to get your head on straight. Your father will not talk to you for multiple reasons, okay? One of which is you are doing to him what you and Meghan did to a 99-year-old Prince Philip when he was on his deathbed, and you two went over to Oprah and screamed racism. The royal family is racist. Oh, and by the way, Meghan was suicidal, but the royal family said you cannot get mental help. You're doing what you did when the beloved queen was dying of bone cancer, which is an extremely painful way to go. You announced that you were writing a seedy tell-all. My opinion, seedy, seamy, tell-all about life in the royal family, airing out all the dirty laundry. And then your wife gave this rage-filled interview to The Cut in which she said, guess what? I didn't sign an NDA. Okay, lovely. And now you are breaching what little privacy the king has, which goes to his own health and his own cancer battle. And you're saying, I don't know how long he has left. You are vile. You are vile. And if you don't think that when William becomes king, he's going to strip you of your titles and the world will cheer that, you're out of your mind. Now, to cap this little whatever off that these two are up to, let's take a look again at what Meghan Markle had to say about the state of the Sussexes' relationship and their current frame of mind, current vibe, on her insufferable baby.
So now 7 years later, when you have a little bit of breathing space, you can just enjoy each other in a new way. And that's why I feel like it's more of a honeymoon period for us now.
So they've got breathing space from the royal family that Harry is whinging and moaning that he wants back into. And also they're now in a honeymoon phase, although Harry says they are running for their lives. Which is it? It literally cannot be both.